The Magic the Gathering economy is ever changing, and I believe the best time to buy singles has changed. Let's see if we can save you some money. Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. This is Murders at Karlov Manor pre-release weekend, Friday night. Going to be awesome at Game Grove. I hope if you are local, we will see you there to have an amazing experience of opening and enjoying a new Magic the Gathering set. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried about this set, but this weekend I saw some of the hype in the local store about it. Some people talking about some cards. I'm a little bit more excited about it now. So I want to get into this. If you want to chat about all this stuff, head on over to KitchenTableTCG.com and enter into the Discord server. And then if you want to pick up some pre-orders at Murders at Karlov Manor, hit the links below in the YouTube section. It does support the channel and help me run this whole thing. So let's get into this. It used to be the common, accepted practice if you were buying singles from a new set, used to be to wait for 2 weeks after release, okay? So the pre-release night would come, you'd hang out, you'd enjoy the game, release weekend would come, and then if you were looking to pick up singles and you didn't need them for your deck today, you would wait 2 weeks, and that seemed to be the best opportunity to buy cards. I believe that this has changed, and there's a lot of reasons that this has changed, and I want to get into the two of them. You have the consumers, which is you, probably, and you have the stores, which is kind of, where I come from, the store owning perspective. And both of those two things have changed and converged into seeing a difference in the best time to buy these singles. So from the store owning perspective, what has happened in Magic the Gathering the last 3 to 5 years is that we have seen an increased supply, an increased price, and an increased number of products, okay? And so from a store perspective, it used to be that a new Magic the Gathering set, and let me be very clear, I was not a store back then, but I've talked to store owners, I've gotten this idea and kind of worked through it. But it used to be that when a new Magic the Gathering set came out, once every 3 months or 4 months or whatever it was, store owners were excited because it was an opportunity to make some good money, and they would try to get product and people would then come and buy the product, and it would turn into this cycle of selling sealed product. And as a consumer, I remember this. I remember War of the Spark. I was so excited to go to pre-release. I got there, 2 or 3 hours early. I got my box that I had pre-ordered, or my 2 boxes maybe at the time that I had pre-ordered. I cracked open the cards and the packs, and I enjoyed opening and collecting the cards, and then I did my pre-release, and then what I would do is I would go straight home and I would list all the extra cards I didn't actually want onto TCG Player, and we'll get to that in a second. But from a store perspective, the easy opportunity was that people wanted sealed product and had the money to buy the one booster box that was in the market, and so it kind of worked, and there was no real urgency from a store. There was the attitude of a new release was a win. It was an exciting thing for a store, not a stressful thing or an urgency to move the product. You wanted product to sell because people were buying sealed product to open. So that's where we were. From the consumer perspective, back then, I remember going to get my box, opening my stuff, and from a consumer perspective, rushing home and listing the cards on TCG Player because the prices were super inflated on pre-release night. Because everybody was getting their cards, everybody was trying to get their stuff, whatever. And so I would rush home, and my attitude, I would try to open a couple of the cards that I wanted, I would keep those, and I would sell the rest to try to recoup my costs. This is kind of how this whole business started for me at Kitchen Table TCG eventually. Okay, so that's kind of where we were. And it used to be that because of all that, the prices at pre-release were really, really high, and you shouldn't buy at pre-release. You should wait for 2 weeks because the prices then calm down as the supply ends up. Because of the increased box prices, the increased amount of product being sold, consumers have stopped engaging with the product in that way. They have stopped being excited about going to the store and ripping open boxes because they have too many releases, they don't have enough money, and they've slowed down on buying boxes. We've talked about this 100 times. So that has led then to stores having to come up with new ways to move that product. If consumers aren't buying as much product, then stores have to find a new way to try to make money. And what has happened is stores have kind of shifted to this idea of they get all their product in on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday this week, thinking through Murders of Karlov Manor. They see all the product that's been pre-ordered, they see all the product they ordered, and they say, oh crap, I've got to rip open a bunch of product. And so what happens is that stores are now putting so much more singles onto the market even a couple of days before pre-release that it is rapidly tanking the price of those singles, not really before pre-release, but it expedites things from maybe Thursday before pre-release to Monday or Tuesday after pre-release. And this causes this is where I'm getting to, the best time to buy singles, in my opinion, is going to be 3 days after pre-release. We've expedited this idea where there's so much cards coming onto the market before pre-release and before, kind of the market opens technically for Magic cards, that the 3 or 4 days for the big singles, the things that everybody wants, the 3 to 4 days after pre-release, I think is the best time to buy your cards. And this shifts things because I think what happens, and I'm going to test this out with Murders with kind of our extra product, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But what happens is that the demand for people then increases in buying as they go to pre-release, they build their decks, and they don't get the cards that they want. And so the demand for buying increases 4 to 5 days after pre-release, and the demand or the quantity of cards increases right before that. So all this to say, I think, and the hypothesis is, that the best time to buy your cards for pre-release is going to be 4 to 5 days after pre-release, which means that the best time to sell your cards is actually like in that window of 5 to 6 to 7 days of after pre-release, which puts it right on release weekend. So we're going to test this at Game Grove. Some of the extra product at Murders at Karlov Manor, I'm going to open up, and instead of rushing to open that up and get it listed before pre-release weekend, I'm going to actually wait and hold back. And we saw this happen with Lord of the Rings collector boxes. Me and a couple other stores rushed to get our product out there, and it kind of ate up the value of the market. And then we saw things rebound after release, and things started going up. And I remember thinking to myself, man, if I would have waited to open up this product for another week, I would have made another like 10% in profit as a result of just waiting a couple of days rather than trying to get my stuff out as soon as possible. So that's a hypothesis. I'm very curious what you have in your brain on this kind of thing. It's such a, for me, it was such a hard thing to get over, the idea that, 2 weeks is like what's been written in stone. That's the best time to buy your cards. I still think pre-order prices are super inflated, but the time it takes to get from inflated to bottom, I think has been expedited by the changing in the structure of the economy due to the increased box prices and all that stuff. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Enjoy your pre-release weekend though. Have some fun. Murders of Karlov, the cards have a ton of text on them. And so I think it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for people to hop in and kind of learn the format and learn the new cards. But once people figure it out, I do think there's some really good cards that are going to see some play in some different formats and stuff. So have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.